Hey guys, it's Angel, and for this tutorial I attempt to recreate the look of an oil spill on concrete. I've always loved oil slick inspired polishes, and I have a lot of rainbow chrome jewelry, and I even have this knife. And don't worry, I only use it for opening polish packages, not cutting bitches. This mani was inspired by Instagram user Primpin' Ain't Easy. I will link her post down below. So before I even started painting, I decided to go beast mode on this makeup sponge because I knew that I was going to sponge on the colors on top of my base coat, and if my nails are wet, how was I going to be able to rip this thing apart? And ooh, apparently I had a dance break in here. For my base coat, I used OPI Natural Nail Base Coat, and I don't think that this base coat gets enough love. It's pretty basic, it's not ridge filling or a sticky base coat or anything, but I think it does a pretty good job at prolonging the length of my mani. And to give my nails the textured concrete look, I went with OPI Wharf, which is one of their liquid sand texture polishes. And unfortunately, this has been discontinued. All liquid sands have been discontinued, but this is pretty old. It's from the San Francisco 2013 collection, but you can still find this on eBay and probably even Amazon for pretty cheap, probably like $6. Now, I know a lot of people weren't crazy about the texture polishes that were pretty big there a few years ago. I loved them. I really still like using them as accent nails in my manis because I feel like it just gives a little extra, texture, but it just gives a little variety to your mani. Especially the glitter ones. Oh my god, they are so gorgeous. And oh, I should mention that I actually did this mani twice. This was the first time, and then I was reviewing my footage and I didn't like it, so I actually did it again. But then, quite ironically, I ended up liking this first one better. So if you stick around to the end of this, I'm actually going to include some footage of the second one I tried, and I would love it if you guys would let me know which one you liked better. Check, what the hell are you doing? Here I'm using a piece of paper as a sort of paint palette, and the first color I chose to plop out onto my palette was China Glaze Cabin Fever, which is a beautiful multi-chrome duochrome polish. I love this one, and using a pair of tweezers, I just picked up a little piece of that sponge that I ripped up earlier and ever so daintily sponged it onto the center portion of my nail, and I made sure not to go close to the cuticle because I wanted other polish colors to go around it, and make sure to dab off any excess onto the piece of paper because you really do not need a lot of polish. Ah! Scared the shit out of me. No, but I probably recorded that. The next color I went with is a purple metallic Julep Avni, and I am so sorry, but all of the Julep polishes I'm going to be using are also discontinued. I mean, what is wrong with me? I'm pretty much an asshole, but I just don't have a ton of metallic polishes, so all the ones I have are old and discontinued. I suck. So using a fresh piece of sponge, you want to pick up the purple polish and put it around the outside of that coppery color that we laid down earlier. And you kind of want to overlap it a little bit, but not too much, so you want to keep them separate, but you know, blend it a little bit. The next color I went with is Julep Harley, which is just a basic silver metallic polish. I'm sure everybody has 5 of these. And I did a bunch of tests of this mani look on some swatch sticks, and I discovered that using the silver polish on the outside and then going over it with a couple of the next colors that I'm going to use really gave the look of the sky reflecting into an oily puddle. And oh, I didn't say this earlier, but the reason why I chose the blue base along with the mani that I took inspiration from, she also used a blue base, but I was like, why didn't she use a black base? And then when I was doing my little test, I realized that the oil slick just looked more vibrant and better over the blue because it just really looked like the sky reflecting into an oily slick puddle. And wow, this is like pure poetry. And here over the silver I'm layering Julep Angelina, which is like a emerald green metallic color. And as you can see, I'm just kind of, layering over the silver but not trying to make it super opaque, and just going over that purple just a little bit. And then I'm going to layer over the emerald green color even more with Julep India, which is a blue metallic that has like a little bit of a gold green shimmer to it. And I know layering all these colors on the perimeter is just probably looking like it's unnecessary, but from all my tests, I really think that this added a lot of dimension to it, and I wasn't like completely covering up parts, so you could see green was peeking out, blue was peeking out, and just a little bit of that silver was too. And then after all that of me going on and on about the metallic polishes, I decided to cover it all up with a layer of matte top coat. Here I'm using Wet n Wild matte top coat, which is my favorite matte top coat. And the best part is it's only $1, and sometimes Rite Aid has 40% off Wet n Wild sales, and you can get it for 60 cents. Yes, best matte top coat for 60 cents. And then after I let that dry, I wanted even more texture, so I took OPI Wharf again and made sure to get everything off of that brush except like the smallest amount of product so that I could dry brush over the nails. Here you can see how little polish is really left on that brush. I mean, you want to get that brush to the point where you think you are ruining it, and what that does is it allows you to go over the nail and it will skip over the recessed portions and only catch on the gritty texture. And I think that this really makes it look like concrete. Well, at least to me. And oh, look, what do we have here? My favorite oil slick tweezers. Perfect for removing that poly-peel. And then I did my cleanup using 100% acetone and my favorite brush from Twinkle Tea, the number 6 brush. And I just use a little dish to hold my acetone and the leftover gradient sponge to dab off the excess acetone. I just feel like this works best for me. And that is my first try at the oil slick concrete nails, and when I finished this, I really liked it. And then the next day I looked at my footage and I said, ew, this is stupid, and then I decided to do it again. So I'm going to quickly show you how I did the other version. I used some different polishes and did a little bit of a different pattern. So, all right, let's get started on this second one. So for the second version, I decided to switch up the polishes I was using and went with this set of Klean color shimmer metallics. I don't call these true metallics because they are almost like a super fine glitter, and I thought that might add a little something different. I decided to switch up the pattern this time, and instead of going for that stripe down the center of my nail look, I went for more of like a traditional gradient type of pattern where, you know, you do one color near the cuticle, another color, and then another color down to the free edge. But the application process was pretty much the same, just using a small piece of the sponge and using the tweezers to hold it. And let me tell you, my hands hurt so bad after the second night of doing this mani. It was just holding onto those tweezers and the sponge like so tightly. Ouch! And this version went so much quicker. Like the first one probably took me 2.5 hours. I mean, it was putzing around in between all the different steps, but this one I think only took me about an hour to do. Although filming my nails makes doing nail art take so much longer because the whole process of your camera and your lighting and having everything set up and then taking photos. Like if I just did this mani without filming it, it probably only would have taken me maybe 30 minutes. And by the way, these polishes are super cheap. I have them linked down below. I believe you get 12 polishes for like $14, and I got them because the reviews said they were good for stamping, so I might try that out in another video. And then I decided to sponge on a little bit more of OPI Wharf because I thought the texture was kind of getting lost and it was just looking super metallic and not gritty enough for me. And then why stop there? Let's just layer on even more polish. I couldn't stop at this point. I just kept going. More layering, more polish. But I did reach the end finally, and I was able to peel off all of my poly-peel to reveal this masterpiece. I don't know about this one. I ended up preferring the other one, I think. And that completes the second take on the oil slick concrete nails, and I don't know, I keep going back and forth. Which one do I like better? I should do a poll. I'm gonna do a poll. You guys let me know, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer number 1, which was more of the stripe down the center of the nail, or number 2, which was more of the horizontal style gradient? So click on the top right corner of your screen and you can take part in this massive poll. Who's gonna win? Oh my God, so dramatic. So anyways, don't forget you can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at twi_star. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.